Last week. No demos. 1.6, some PRs, some issues. Talked about harvest today. 14. 214 demos. Do we have demos?
I'm not sure if Nears get back to me on time. I might.
Topics. Harvest. There will be 1.6. There will be what else? That's it so far, we'll see. Status, okay, status, option 1, and I will zoom. I had to install fork because it lost all my credentials. Well, I think it was misconfigured with GitHub, with Git credentials from GitHub. So option 1, what happened? Nothing, really much, no, nothing last week. Orchard core on the 7th here. We saw that. Then fix null exception trying to resolve content items in GraphQL. TM. We merged that during triage changes. Assigning the request services to the context such that it can be used where we resolve content items apparently. Fix error condition for custom fields in GraphQL. Again, everyone's using GraphQL. It's not just Mike. Fix error conditions. Yes, so checking that some parts should not be added if they don't match anything, like you don't have any field apparently. You see? If you don't have any field to show in GraphQL schema, giving MediaField empty modal with BagPart. This was, I think, an old PR that I think Mike merged and fixed because the assets were failing. Was a conflict, so this is fixed now. 616 change logs. Typo, clean up all the usings that are not used and spaces and everything and reordering. FYI, there is a tool with .NET. So if you use the .NET command line tool, there's a .NET format command on the .NET tool to apply all the formatting rules that you have defined in the editor settings.
Well, you made an announcement about it. Now we're going to have a big problem because the minute you execute .NET format and it applies all the settings, you're going to have 10,000 file changes. Yeah. So just saying, use it, but don't apply it on the entire project.
In this project, at least. Use it somewhat than in Orchard, because it will break all the PRs. That might be a problem.
Yeah.
That's okay. People can create the PR. We can say no, not yet. We've done that because people have tried them. Okay. mkdocs update. Refactor RedisService. So storing the Redis option instead of the I options. Redis, okay. Sense prefix, okay. Okay, just nothing interesting here. Okay, same thing, just cleaning up more than refactoring. Okay, no refactoring here is the options is stored instead of the I options. Don't use future step in migration recipe. It's probably fixing an issue.
Yeah, it's fixing a migration bug.
So we can express the dependencies at the feature level instead of using a step that is enabling dependencies. That's a completely different thing.
I think it's just the order of enabling. It's causing an issue when you migrate the admin dashboard. It causes an issue where a table doesn't exist. So I think it's just an order when these fields are enabled.
It smells like we need a different feature that depends on admin dashboard and HTML and title.
Yeah.
Because if you say the migration is using something that is not yet enabled, it means like, why is the admin dashboard using?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I suggested we remove that recipe altogether, because all the recipe does, it just basically create a content type called HTML widget.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a default widget.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a setup where you want to use the admin dashboard, but you don't care about content management or like title, HTML, things like that. You want your custom one.
Correct. And the reason why they add the HTML, because that recipe, part of it can actually create, yes. So that's why they enabled it. But what I'm saying, if we get rid of the recipe altogether, we can drop out the dependencies here. Just leave the orchard.admin. So the minute you enable this feature, it's going to create, it's going to update the content definition. It's going to add a widget, HTML widget with like, welcome to Orchard Chat or something like that. Let's say. Yeah, so we could have easily just dropped the whole.
Well, and we can't fix the recipe. Oh, maybe the recipe should work, but the migration itself should not.
Correct, and that's what he's doing here. That's exactly what he fixed. By making it a dependency, he's forcing the dependencies to be enabled before he uses them, and so the migration work.
So that's a migration recipe. I think that should be not a setup recipe, but a utility recipe instead. And that will not be an issue then. Because the utility recipe can say enable these features and create the widget. And it will be opt-in. So you enable the admin dashboard, there is no widget. We could display a message, create widget, please, by default. Go into documentation, and there could be a recipe called sample widget recipe. That will have the same content as before, and that you can execute when you want.
Yeah, awesome.
So yeah, you're not muted. So yeah, so that's my suggestion here, because I understand it doesn't make sense to have a dashboard without that, but here technically you don't need that, so maybe we should not force it. Data protection blobs, interesting. Oh, well, it's just updating the picture version. Azure entity update. Okay, hiding content picker, feed select control, brand. Yeah, we reviewed that on Thursday, right? That was too.
Yes, and it was approved.
Yeah, big videos showing the improvements. Thank you, Brent, and that's Brent. Contributor here. Awesome. Thanks everyone for all the updates. Let's look at what's left for 1.6. 1.6 issues. Milestones, yes. one or two less than last week. Bug. Brent. Can zoom a bit. This I contacted the .NET Foundation people for Harvest, and maybe we can try to set it up like it's a new project, and maybe that will work. Lock on Lucene, but that's not common. But we can display in the localized calendar. This should not perk 1.6. And this should perk 1.6. What is that? It's a feature request. It's a documentation. It's not blocking 1.6. Why did I put it on 1? Maybe I misclicked. One less or 1.6. Cool. Okay, so please look at these. During triage, we'll try to unblock those. Probably didn't have time last week because we had 2 weeks to look at. So that's 6416.
There's a PR I put for 1.6.
Oh, why do you put PRs for 1.6?
Yeah, that one right there. The default content right down the middle. Actually addresses a bug. And I tagged it with 1.6 because it addresses it, but yeah.
This content. Are we back to not using list content items?
Yes, because if you got this far, you already have the list content items. So now we need to check, can you edit or view? And if you can, we're going to let you see it. And then down the line, we determine, hey, can you view it? We'll show you a view button. If you can edit, then you can view the edit button.
Can you edit or view? Isn't one implied by the other?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Because we might want to address one time where you can edit, but
how can you edit? How can you edit without being able to view?
Well, viewing is viewing on the front end, right? If you don't want to support that, maybe you don't have that. I have to look at the permissions.
That's weird. I've never seen us checking 2 permissions. Or you could also say, if you don't have the view content permission, then don't even think about being able to list it.
Trying to see the comment permissions real quick.
Because we use the edit content just to check the buttons. And then if we can actually edit, not to display something. So I think we should just use view in this case. And then the rest. Send comment. Okay.
Yeah, so view is implied by edit. So maybe all we need is just to check view.
exactly. That was my comment on the PR, so that's good. Then
So you're good with just changing that and
to view, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, one PR. So I mentioned that during last triage. Where is my Net7 PR? Can we try to take it before 1.6? Do we merge? Do people think because Net7 has been out for a while? Should we try that? Creating the packages for 6 and 7 using 7 as a default TFM, but you can change it. Everyone should be using 7 by now, or can use 7 by now. There is nothing preventing you from doing that. If you still want to target 6.0, you can still target 6.0. Concerns? Nobody's complaining. Merge. This way we can try.
Sounds good.
Dude, I'm not giving you the only points, the only internet points. We are sharing the points between Antoine, IQ, and myself. Okay, let's see if it builds. Oh boy, breaking everything. It's building on the PR, so there is almost no result, right? But it's also changing the script for the publishing on Cloudsmith. So now on Cloudsmith, and next on NuGet, it should show up as two targets for the NuGet package. Yeah. Yep. All good. Going back to the schedule. Mike, do you want to do the demo now?
No, Nears didn't get back to me. I need something from him for the demo.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I see what you mean.
Maybe next week.
Okay. Next week we are open. Fine. Topics, Harvest.
Yes.
Have something to say, Victoria?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I have more than one thing to say because I wasn't here last week. So the first thing is that the vote, yes. So if you haven't voted on Twitter, you still have, I think, 2 days to do it. But it seems that the second day is more popular than the first one.
We can't see the result unless we vote.
Yes, but
okay. I saw the votes because
then
I don't want to influence the vote, so I won't vote or say whatever. Something that Rob mentioned. Rob, who used to be a huge virtual contributor with their company. May 8th is the King's coronation, so people will be on holiday, and but it's a Monday, so I don't think it will be an issue because they can travel on a Saturday to Las Vegas, and in Las Vegas, people won't care about the King's coronation mostly. Mike, what do you do during the King's coronation?
I don't know. I yet to find out.
Okay, so I don't think that would be a big problem.
Yeah, he said it because of the expenses.
Yeah, but the travel to Las Vegas should not be impacted. Oh, maybe people will say, "Oh, I have one more day off, so let's go to Las Vegas." Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it could for them. It could if they have a lot of traffic internally. Maybe it's just the airports are.
Yeah. And you also mentioned,
but it's every day you have that problem.
Yeah, and he's also mentioning, I wish it was in the UK. But yeah,
well,
there are lots of users in the UK. UK was supposed to be the next time, and not Las Vegas, because so many users in the UK, and we've never been there. Then we happened to organize it in the UK right before COVID, where UK was first to be locked down. So whatever, slide. Okay, that's first comment, vote. There is the poll here.
Yes.
Which one you want?
Yeah, the second point is about the sponsorships. So I was trying to contact those who said that they are open to some kind of sponsorships. So yeah, first thing is that if you know some companies that would be open to sponsor the harvest, that would be really cool. And also I wanted to ask about the previous sponsorships. You already mentioned that some company could maybe provide the location for the harvest. We have one contact from last, but they haven't replied yet. But I want
so you don't
to
have a
ask.
contact?
We have one contact,
Well,
but
you have an email, or you talk to someone, or you exchange something with someone, like.
It's Zoltan's contact, and
Okay.
I wrote to them, and then we will see. But I wanted to mention here, if somebody has a partner or a place in Las Vegas, that would be really nice. And I wanted to ask how the sponsorships went in the past. If you could share something about it.
So in the past, Microsoft was rich and not laying off people. In the present, Microsoft is poor. That's what they say, right? Still one of the two biggest companies on earth, but Orchard in Microsoft is nothing. So they don't have any budget. I'm sure they don't even have a budget to pay me a laptop to work. So why would they give us money to do a conference like this? So I don't think we can expect that, because I'm working on a different management than before, which was okay to sponsor the conference. Now the budgets are very tight. Then, however, I sent an email again, but not to the same person, to the Donate Foundation, because for the past two conferences, we kept the money from the ticketing, okay, and I have track of that. I know exactly how much they got and how much we spent from the Donate Foundation account. So I'm trying to get it unblocked, or having a line of credit to be able to use it for the conference. I didn't check the numbers exactly, but I think around 4K should be available for us. It's our money, right? I mean, it's attendees' money, so I mean, it's not foundation money. And so that's the budget for that line. That could be sufficient if we have a free room and we don't provide lunch. It's just about audio video expenses, and that's about it, right? So that's how it works. Then we can ask for other sponsorship and be represented on the shirts or on the signage. Lombic is very good at that. They made the shirts at some point, but they have custom signage, so you have experience with that. At least to provide and to finance it is different. We can still look for some sponsorship on that. As I said, we don't have to provide any we'll see. T-shirt, that's a bonus, but maybe the sponsoring will provide that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because I already have some positive feedbacks about those who said in the survey that they are open for sponsorship. But yeah, for example, the T-shirts would be a good idea.
So I just so you know, I reached out to the guy from the meetup community here in Las Vegas. I haven't heard back. So I tried to go that route. So I don't know if there's any other ideas that you guys want me to try here locally. I wouldn't mind. Also, what might help is if you want to put a list of things that you're looking for, like, you know, let's say you're looking for a sponsor to buy shirts, right? Whatever, right? Maybe put that out there so we know exactly what it is. I mean, I might be able to go to the company I work for and say, hey, can we, you know, sponsor, you know, buying 100 shirts, right? So, I mean, if we know the facts, we might be able to act on it, but it seems like we don't know what you're really trying to accomplish or what it is that you want a sponsorship for as well.
The budget, what's the budget for?
Yeah, yes, I also wanted to collect these things. This is why I asked that in previously what kind of sponsorships were, because I'm also trying to collect these things, because I also have some contacts who might sponsor us, but I didn't know how it went in the past. So yeah, I'm on it, and I will share it, of course.
Shirts, and sometimes it's not just to finance T-shirts, it's just give sponsorship to be on the T-shirts, signage T-shirts. That's what we can sell.
Yeah, I
like,
don't know if, for example, the location could be sponsored, maybe.
Sure, yeah, like well, then signage. I mean, they can give money, okay, or they can buy stuff for us. Like they could provide the location. It's easier if they give the money and we choose the location, or we organize everything, because maybe they don't want to have to organize the location and everything. They just want, hey, here is the money. Put my logo on the signage. Okay, here I want also to be able to talk to all the attendees. That's what I need for this amount of money I will give you. And then we do whatever we want with that. We pay for the shirts, we pay for the meeting room. If a company in Las Vegas wants to provide a meeting room and have their logo on the shirt and signage, that's also a different thing. They won't give money, but they want to provide the location. So we're open to everything. I remember in Alicante in Spain, someone provided no, it was maybe in New York. I don't remember exactly. Someone provided the notebooks or the pens, okay, just for all the attendees that needed to take notes. So that's still nice. If someone wants to organize a dinner or a drink, whatever, it's also another opportunity for sponsorship. I think that's what maybe Lombik did at some point, maybe Amsterdam. Or a company did that. Probably, I'm not sure it was Lombik, but it's totally possible. We went to a dinner for some sponsor. That's the things we can do.
Did you check to see if Microsoft has an office in Las Vegas? I don't believe so, but
I didn't check.
No, okay. I tried to go on the website. It looks like it's saved, but there's no location found. So I don't know if I'm missing something.
And even with that, we will not be able to use that without paying, and more expensive than anything else. That's what we did in Microsoft Redmond. Like, Redmond likes like 100 buildings, right? Thousands of rooms and meeting rooms and everything, but we still had to pay more than in New York to get a room in Microsoft. So
yeah, and another point would be because we will have the date and the location now. So I think that if we will have the correct location in Las Vegas, we should start the promotion, the web page, and I wanted to ask your opinion and your experience about it. And also I found that there were, I don't remember exactly when, but there were Harvest Spring Challenge, and I wanted to ask your opinion about it, if you think it's also a good idea for a promotion, for promoting the event.
What kind of challenge? I didn't understand.
There was, I think it was organized by Lombik.
What's the name you used?
Orchard Harvest Spring Spring Challenge, I think. But please give me a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Harvest Challenge. I will share the link in the chat.
Once we have the location, the date, we can create the ticketing event. So we always use Meetup so far, because they will handle the invoicing, the payments, and then we can forward the money to any bank account we want, minus fees. So that, and website, usually one of the contributors made the website based on the old websites, like can be a static page, can be nurtured site, can be anything, just listing the event and the agenda, speakers. We create a call for speakers and topics, because people want to be able to see what will be talked about before joining. Yep.
One concern I have, I mean, we have 2 months to May. Is that feasible? Is that enough time to do the conference?
Usually, yes. But we have 2 months.
It's 3 months.
3 months and a half, let's say 3 months. If we are the same state in a month, then that's harder. Okay, so that, because we are the same state today as in a month ago. Like the only difference is that it will be in Las Vegas, but it could be, I could say it will be in Berlin, and we are the same state, right? Because we have no room in Las Vegas, we have no location. We just say Las Vegas. I could say Berlin, and that's the same thing. We have you, Mike.
Agreed, and that's why I'm asking, because do we even know how many people are willing to come to Las Vegas? I mean, maybe Las Vegas is really not a good place because not everybody want to show up here.
Exactly.
So I mean, I'm just asking because we're like 2.5 whatever months away, but we're not confident about the location just yet. So did we run a survey to see how many people are kind of willing to come to Vegas?
Yes, so in the survey, what we have done first, most of the people said the USA, that they would join, and I'm trying to contact them as much as possible. I sent them like 2 times about the GitHub channel and also the Twitter. So it was like 44 people who would come to the USA. But still, Las Vegas is the one where we have a local organizer as well. I was trying to get a European destination, but nobody really helped or could offer help in better locations. So it's quite hard. And I was also posting about why it could be cheaper to come to Las Vegas to promote the event somehow, because I feel like that, and I also got some answers that they won't or they don't want to, or it's hard for them to come to Las Vegas, because you connect Las Vegas with a lot of money and a lot of spending, in my opinion.
Nope, that's super
Well,
cheap.
it's not Las
And
Vegas. It's a US, right? Anytime you travel from UK to the US, it's not going to be cheap. But going to Vegas, relatively cheaper than going to New York or California or any of the other states. So that's the key difference, right? If someone said Vegas is too expensive, they are not going to go to any place in the US. That it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I also wrote you an email about this, and I also posted it in GitHub to promote this.
So first thing to do is find a location at a price in Las Vegas, so we can start telling people this will be there. Do you want to join?
Yeah.
And if
we already have that.
Yeah, we already checked 2 options, but first I tried if we could find somehow a company who would offer a place,
and
but it doesn't seem that.
So with the offers we've got, we can actually get the meeting room for free as long as we meet the food. So if we buy enough food, we can actually have the meeting room for free.
How much food?
I forgot. She has the info. But basically, we have a price as a group price for rooms. We don't have to adhere to anything, but we can, because we have a group, so we were able to get a group discount for people who wants to stay in a hotel. And also we were able to get a deal for just renting the facility and the food. But if we buy enough food, then, and most likely we actually will be, then we can get the rooms for free, because we need a meeting room, and then we'll need a lunch room. So we can actually get the meeting room for free as long as we get the food. So as long as we get sponsor that can pay for the food for the people that are coming in, then we should be able to cover the expense.
Will you be able to send me the details about the cost of per head food and minimum of food ordered?
I can forward you that email. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
just to see if it's doable or not, even without budget.
I don't think I have your email.
Yeah, I have an Excel. I was trying to compare the 2 hotels that you have shared with me. So tomorrow I will I can share it with you, Sebastian, as well.
Okay, please send it by email. I have all my email is on GitHub everywhere. Just take one commit and you have it. So open. And my email at Microsoft can be found out also. Just have to think about what could be my email at Microsoft. Find an email at Microsoft and you find my email at Microsoft. So easy. So easy. Okay.
Thanks for the homework.
Yeah. Could you check the link what I've sent in the chat about this challenge?
Harvest challenge. Oh, they still have a website. Beautiful. The challenge, the harvest challenge, is to find a location and budget. So that is collateral website, whatever. I didn't even win. Oh, I won something. Oh no, it's just. Oh yeah, I see. When was that? It was for Orchard 1. 2014.
Yeah, so I thought that maybe
10 years ago. Yeah, that was a nice idea. So people sent. I remember people sent us some modules and we gave points to the module developers.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
it was an idea that maybe this could promote the event, or
yeah, you know, but no, forget about like people creating a module to promote the event. I mean, if they create a module just even without an event, we are happy. So so I don't think people will, oh, because there is an event, I will create a new module. They will just build something quick and, oh, I submitted an entry. There is no thing to promote here, in my opinion. I'm super pessimistic about that. I'm French, sorry, I need to complain about everything. But I don't think that will drive a lot of people to the event because there is a competition to build the module. We are competing to get people to build modules, so we should pay them to build module. That would be interesting. So, okay. So location. That's the goal, and I will also try to contact people.
Yes.
Thank you, Victoria.
Do you have time for one PR?
I will have time for one PR. Yep, Victoria, what do you want? Victoria?
I didn't understand the question.
You wanted to say something?
No, I just wanted to say that now if we will have the date, and then it will be clear if somebody can provide us a location. If not, then we already have 2 hotels what we checked, and so we can move forward. And
location.
If you have any idea how to get more people, then please share with me.
Location. You won't get any people saying I will come if you don't have a location.
Yeah, and then
the date is easy. We can pick one day, okay? But location,
price.
we can't say, oh, we pick there and on Google Maps. No, we have to have something sure, so they can get an hotel, they can book stuff, and also be sure that people will show up. Like if we are just 2 showing up, doesn't make sense. If the room is free, okay, fine, you got a free weekend with Orchard Talks, but you need to be sure that people will come. So it's like everything, like, oh, sure, I will come. Oh, well, you know, I can't actually, so I won't come. So that's part of the game. People have always showed up. You just need to have something concrete yet. So we'll see. That's the priority.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
13238. If we can merge this one, they will save me a headache this week.
Oh, this is search. Just UI. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Lucy. No.
This is exactly what we have today, but with the ability to override.
Okay, front-end controller. Yeah, so this one deleted.
Yeah, it's the same controller in Lucent, but just for Lucent.
So where does this one go?
In the search.
Okay, there's a search module.
Yeah, we already have the search module.
Okay.
But instead of having the controller, one controller for Lucent.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, that I prefer. Oof.
And then I created shapes so we can override them too. That's a key.
Okay. Share this. iSearch service, where is that? The search service can handle search provider. Too specific. It's not a search service. It has index name. It has. It's for the front end.
It's for the UI.
I have to check what the search had. Because we probably have the notion of index, because we can have multiple indices for the search. That's not the search index. Search index model.
Yes, it's part of the condition.
Placeholder. Model. Okay, so search index. Then, because we have a default index for the search on the front end, but we can have multiple indices.
And we can provide that in the parameter. If you go up, it's actually further up if you're looking for that code.
I would expect the search service to just have something like that.
And it does.
No, to just have, not also have. But talking will convince me that we need something else. I just want to understand. The default field, yeah, but term. Default search field start site, so that makes sense. Default search fields. I don't think so. I think this should just match the input of the form for the front-end search, which means maybe index name, for sure terms like search query, whatever it is, but that should be a configuration of each, either index or search engine, but not provided as the thing here.
I mean, we can call that get search fields async from that method if needed.
See, default index async should be used by the implementation of get async or search async if you don't provide an index name. Because then we'll use it will use its default because it knows it has a default. Maybe we don't have to expose it, the concept of default, to the search interface. And we don't have to check that the index exists. Maybe this one can just say, I don't have any result, or throw an exception if it wants to throw an exception. But just empty results might work, and log it. Get permissions, same thing. If you search and you say, no, you can't see anything.
And that would change the behavior of the UI. Because right now, if you don't have permission,
okay,
we can. I mean, look at the controller. Because I tried not to change the logic in that controller because I'm trying to minimize the change. But yeah, if you go to the controller, you'll see the logic. I mean, sure, we can do everything you said, but that's just going to change the UI or the behavior of the existing code. I'm not opposed to changing it. I just don't want.
Yeah, but the code was there, but it was an implementation detail because there was no interface. Now you want to expose some of the current implementation inside the interface. That's why I'm. So yeah, maybe it will change. It's not what the controller does today, but it can still do that. But it should be in the controller somehow. It should not be in the interface. That's a controller. Search controller. And
yeah, that's a one.
Search index model. It said that the search index model doesn't contain the index. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Yes, it was this way before, but looking at this code, I don't understand why the index is not part of the view model, because it's even
It
bound to-
actually is. It is. This is one of the change, because in the route, I can now pass the index name directly in the route. And so and to keep it backward compatible, viewModel.index could be still a parameter, because today we send it as a parameter. We don't send it as a route value. So with that index in the method, we can accept the index value from the route, and the route will win over the parameter. You see viewModel.index. That is something we populate from like the form as a query parameter. But in this case, we can also do /search/index name. So you can search for that specific index. And then when you do that, we just set the index. So that way we take the index from the parameter or from the route value.
I'm surprised it doesn't bind to index in the search index view model.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should actually have nothing and just code bind or model bind to the view from, and that should work, because there will be something called index, and there is a property index, so it will bind it. So that's
well, we can have like a bind from query parameter, or we can do a route from route. So, but I don't think you can have both. At least I tried. You can't have both. And so we have, and we want to keep it backward compatible. So we don't want to not take the parameter. So we want to take the parameter or the route value.
many of them.
Yes, because you can have more than one enabled at the same time. We have an option to determine which one is the default one to use. So in this case, if you have more than one, we look up your default.
Was this existing before?
Yeah, that's how we set the default provider name to use.
Why is the
So
name so bad? Search for your
I have
area
no
name.
idea.
Why is it called
Yeah.
area name?
Because the service has an area name parameter, and it has a service name in there. And again, that's just what we had. I didn't want to change any of it.
For the word.
It's called search service, I think. Search provider.
Okay, this is setting. But that's now that can move to the implementation.
I mean, if we do you want to throw a certain exception and catch it here to throw that error, or do you just want to say you can't search? So yes, I agree. We can move that, no problem. But I mean, we need somehow to tell.
Logging, you log.
Well,
Okay.
we can log in the implementation. That's not a problem. We're already logging it, but we need to. Do we just want to set an error, say search provider is not configured, and if there is an error in the result, just prevent the request?
I don't think so. It's front end. I don't know. Logging should be fine. Permission. Add permission.
It's not. If you look at the implementation, you'll see how each service has its own permission. It's weird how permissions are handled here.
Well, it's a search implementation, so it should be.
Because you can have a permission for a specific index. So that's why it's done.
Yeah, but so get permission hashing returns a dynamic permission that the user has to check. Then the dev has to check. Okay, I will check. Same, it should be in the provider itself.
So I mean, yes, if I put him on the provider, do you want me to maybe put a try catch block here in the controller and catch specific exception or report
No, we
these errors?
we don't report, just log them. These are configuration errors. The front-end user doesn't have to know about the configuration errors. We can log the configuration errors.
So to the user, we just say no result found.
There is no result. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
And then we log as a warning, probably not just information, but as a warning. If there is, you see here. So the user sees that, the dev sees that there is a problem with the search. It's not configured, it doesn't work. So they should try the search before exposing it. Or when they try it on the front end, they will see it doesn't work. They look at the log. This is fine because that's a parameter of the search query. And the rest is good. Okay, to have a shape. Is it done?
Yeah, that's the key difference here is that we return a shape, so we can overwrite that.
Search form, search results, search list. This is the view. No, this is the shape. Search list.
It might be also nice instead of returning a view model right there in line 202, can create a shape as well. But if you want to change the
shape is a view model,
index,
so you can call it, yeah. You can have a strongly typed shape in this case.
Oh, well then, yeah, you can override it anyway.
No, a strongly typed shape meaning a class that is the shape. That's what it will do, because that's what it will do. It will create a subclass of that. That would be a shape. That works too. Such index view model would be a shape. Why not have the same __ here?
We can change that. I mean, the __ is what we used to use. And here, maybe
the form, the list, result. That's what that is not the same.
Yeah, maybe I'll change that search under list.
I try to do something on these questions here. I really don't understand why this doesn't work, because it's a URL. You can bind anything to a view model. From the query string, from the route. It's just
right, but you can't have two bindings, right? It's only one, either parameter or route value.
But what if you provide a two? What do you expect?
If you provide two, I would expect it to check both.
Then it will.
It didn't.
And it will pick one of them. Random result. I don't care. You provide two of them, you're bad. It will take one, not the one you want. Just provide one.
Provide one with the value. I would expect it to look for both sources for a value. And once it finds a value, it stops. But that's not the case.
How do you get two values?
Well, like if in the search index G model, in the index property, I thought by adding attribute called from query from route, it would try to bind both.
I see. Don't provide anything inside. Just remove any attribute, and it will bind from whatever is named index.
And I went down that route, and it did not. I'll check it again. I'll triple check.
That's the most common thing from the view model. It will match a route value with the same name or a query string with the same name. If you provide both of them, you have an issue, not the model binding.
I'll check again, but I tried it. That's why I went down that route of adding that parameter.
One second. Okay, the same way today, when we want to check a content item, we say, can you see this content item? Then there is a handler that will say, oh, this content item is owned by someone. So yes, you can, or no, you can't. Oh, this content item is of this type. So yes, you can, because you have a permission name, can see this content item type. But we still check, can I see this content item? We don't say, this is of this type, this is of this user, this is blue, this is today, this is, I don't know. So same thing, we have a permission in search that is called search. front-end search or whatever. And then we check for this permission, authorize async search. And then in the Elasticsearch Engine module, if it supports search by index, and it does same thing for the thing, there is a handler that says, oh, search permission is asked. So can we check this permission? And maybe here you don't need it's not the user that is the object, it may be, so pass a custom search, I don't know, search, do we have the index here? Yes, we have the index, search context. Maybe something like that, okay.
I think we would have to type to pass the index and the provider itself.
No, not the provider. I see what you mean. Provider name or something like that, yeah.
Look at the service real quick, just to see how.
Because multiple can say yes or no. You want to say no, I just want for this search. Okay, but you could say also that each of them will say, oh, am I the search engine? Okay, they can check, they can access the setting and see I am that. Okay, time over. We'll do that on Thursday.
Thank you.
That should be good. Thanks everyone. See you next Tuesday, next Thursday, or next Tuesday. Up to you. Bye-bye.